It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And we'll get a look at this team's superstar cornerback, who's stating his place among the league's best with 6 picks this season. Hope you're all ready for this one, and it's coming up next.
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you take a look at our home side as we enter play here. They come in playing pretty well, 6-3 in their last 9 games. On the other side of the field for our visitors here, they come in riding high, just 1 loss in their last 7 games.
It's a very focused team, very disciplined. They've kept the penalties to a minimum, and they're winning football games.
The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And a glance here at the man calling the plays under center, their 6'4" quarterback.
Well, he did go 2-2 in the last ball game. Well, actually, he went 2-2-1, with the 1 being the victory.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line there. But wasn't it funny at practice? He threw 1 when we were watching, threw an interception, and the defense got on him a little bit, good-naturedly. But they're letting him know, you got to cut down those interceptions. We can't bail you out all the time.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. But as you said, they got the win in that effort last week.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
2nd and 13. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
2 plays so far, a run and a pass attempt, and both have gone backwards.
Probably not how they drew that up.
Not at all.
Looking for a better play coming up on 3rd. A miserable start here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and very long. Looking to throw. Ramsey. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. With that grab, he now sits at 200 for his career, and maybe more importantly, a first down. Up the middle to Davis. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. 19 yards there on the catch and run. That early game script that they drew up is working pretty well here on this first drive. Already in field goal range, Charles knocking on the door of the red zone.
You know, Brandon, when we met with the coaching staff, they kind of predicted that they would come out firing like this. I think you and I were a little skeptical that it'd be this easy, but they certainly knew what they were doing in scouting, in preparation, and understanding what their team was capable of.
Just need a yard here, 2nd and 1.
A gain of 9 brings up 2nd and 1.
Back to throw. Ramsey. He dumps this off underneath. Here's Davis. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a 1st and goal. In motion goes the tight end. They'll try to run forward with Davis. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. 2nd and goal from the 1. Looking to throw. Ramsey. And it's caught. Touchdown. A great play there. His 9th touchdown of the season. And this offense takes the ball down the field and scores on their opening drive. Looking sharp on that first drive. These guys, of course, coming off back-to-back victories, and you see that kind of advancing into this game, don't you?
You certainly do, and when you have a team that doesn't get too full of itself, even though they've won 2 games in a row, you get the end result that we saw there, that nice opening drive, because they're sharp, they're focused, and they're locked into everything that they're doing.
That time, a 9-play drive. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they'll be led out by their 7th-year quarterback.
And he's had a great season so far throwing the football. Very likely could go over 4,000 yards with a good performance here. And even in an age of passing first, that is no small accomplishment.
And he'll find Hall. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8. And a nice milestone reached on that last throw as here late in the season, he goes over 4,000 yards passing.
And he's really thrown the ball well all season long. Had some big games along the way. He's inspired his receiving corps to go out and make plays for him in each and every ball game.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Now a first carry here for the running back. And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49. Call that a gain of 11.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big 3rd down pickup to keep their drive alive.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Throw downfield going to be taken in by Jackson. And all the way in for the touchdown. A big play there. 49 yards. And his guys are an extra point away from tying this thing up. They said that they wanted to get him involved early, and what a way to cap their opening drive, Charles. We know he's one of the fastest receivers in the NFL, and he showcased it on that play.
And when you have a guy like that, you want to make sure the defense sees him early, right? You want to see how they're going to adjust, how they're going to try and guard him, because they can't replicate his speed in practice unless they've got one of the few guys who are as fast as he is. And all it took was one drive. He burned them, and I don't think it's the last time they call his number in this one.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Ramsey got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. 2nd down and a little more than a yard here. Operating from the gun. Ramsey. A throw left sideline falls incomplete. When you look at this defense, they've been pretty good against the pass. Not amazing, but good. Number 13 in the league.
And while teams don't like to talk about it, they're pretty proud of their rankings. But this ranking is going to be put to the test today because they're going up against a top 5 passing offense in this one.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 70th catch for him on the year, and like so many others, this goes for a first down.
Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass in the first drive and comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
A really nice throw there to pick up the first down. You kind of just feel a laser focus and confidence about him, and I think we saw that this week, didn't we? Talking to him and the coaches, they felt good about his performance coming up.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that last practice we saw when they went through 2-minute drill, when they went through all the different situations. Ball hardly hit the ground, and I thought, yeah, he might be locked in for this one.
They'll look to throw again. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
2nd down and 10.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. That's complete to Baker. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A great effort there. 29 yards. And his guys have taken the lead.
And what a weapon he is at the tight end spot, because when they throw him the football downfield, they count on him getting additional yardage almost every time. And that's exactly what he did there. Caught that, ran with it, all the way to the end zone.
Now for the point after. It's up and good, and it's 14-7 now here in the first quarter. So the drive there took 6 plays. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The visitors' offense, led by their running back, headed out for the second possession. And he's been a huge factor in the passing game all season long. His numbers reflect that. Currently leads all NFL running backs in receiving yards. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
2nd and 1. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. Powering forward, and he'll go out near midfield at the 49. They pick up 11 in addition to moving the chains. They'll set up a throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. From the 43, here's 2nd and a couple. From the gun, they'll try to run it. Oh, and that one well designed, as he'll take this down to the 30-yard line. Give him 14 on that one and a 1st down.
Well, how many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice gain.
Ready for the 2nd quarter, and it's our visitors with the football, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Back to throw here. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. 2nd and 10, a very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. They just keep marching right along. 1st down on a pickup of 8 there.
And that's how you pick up a 1st down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. They'll look to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. 2nd and 2. First down marker at the 8. They'll run it here with Bernard. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Now back to throw. And it's caught. Touchdown. A great play there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And his guys are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Well, only the 2 catches for him thus far, CD, but both of them have resulted in touchdowns.
And I think he's on the bench right now, Brandon, smiling at his position coach and telling him, all those times you talked to us about efficiency, I'm living it right now.
Extra point splits the uprights, and we are tied at 14. So that one a long 11-play drive. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The home team's offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And his numbers this year have been eye-popping in a lot of categories. In one area that stands out, he's the NFL leader in rushing touchdowns by a quarterback here in the latter part of the season. They begin with a run by Davis. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
No gain on the play. Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 23-yard line.
They go again with Davis. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. From the gun on 3rd down, Ramsey. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. From the gun, a give to Davis. And he'll bring this one inside the 35. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3.
Inside give to Davis. Oh, able to avoid him. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. 43 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Back to throw. Ramsey. And he will find his man on the outside. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. So from the 17, here's 2nd and 7.
Brings up 2nd and 7.
Looking to throw. Ramsey. Throw right side, caught by Davis. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. And this offense on 3rd down today, a perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This will be 3rd and 5. Back to throw. Ramsey. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Well, it's been a tough go for him. These guys have been driving down the field, but defensively, once they got their backs to the goal line, turned up the pressure, that's going to lead to a 4th down. Well played.
And his kick is good. And they take a 17-14 lead. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take, Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
The visitors' offense and their big play wideout getting ready to get back to work. And as we play out the final stretch of games, he entered our contest here as the NFL's leader in receiving yards. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. 2nd and 4. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. A big play there. 68 yards. And his guys get the quick strike touchdown. Well, just a sensational start for this offense, Charles. 3 drives, 3 passing touchdowns.
Is that like mentioning a perfect game in baseball, or are we cool to do it here in football, partner?
No, I think you can do it here in football. I think perfect game in baseball, that's its own category.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Could not imagine a worse start for that secondary, or let's face it, a better one for this offense. No chance they stop passing now the way that it's going. I think they'll continue to press the ball downfield and hopefully reap the same results.
And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards. 2nd and a couple. They'll run it again here with Davis. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
They'll send a receiver here in motion right. And they'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle. And slow going there as he'll only get a yard, maybe up to the 41. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Caught right side, Davis. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Back to throw now on 1st down. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
Nice progress down the field, was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
Pressure comes, and down he goes. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Out of the shotgun, they'll run with Davis. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And on now is the punter as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The visitors' offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And he's had things all his way in this first half. The numbers sensational as he'll look to add to them with another drive here. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He gets it complete to Jackson. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards.
Result is a
Talk about a big first half. Already has the 2 touchdowns, adding to his receiving total there and picking up the first down.
He's coming off the line so fast. I think he's intimidating the defensive backs with his explosiveness, and he's chipping away at their confidence.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. They're going to look to throw. Over the middle, it's complete. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. They'll look to throw now on first down. He finds his man, complete. That's Hall. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Back to throw again. Under pressure, and down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. So we've reached halftime here. Let's throw in a broadcaster cliche, shall we? Both teams looking for a gift on Christmas Eve. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you two in a bit. For now, plenty of early game action around the NFL to get you caught up on, so let's get to it. We'll begin our trip around the NFL with an interesting one right off the bat, and it's the visiting side who have the lead in that one. From there, we're off to check out another game, and you can see they are out in front in that one. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. As you can see the score there in the second quarter.
All right, we'll bypass the halftime show in favor of returning to this late season game with the teams coming back from the locker rooms here a bit early. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. So now out comes this offense led by their quarterback as they take over once more. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner,
yeah, they went to the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
And here's a handoff out of the gun. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 4 yards the pickup, first down. Hands it off out of the gun. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Here's Bernard. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
Still 3rd down.
Bad time to get a delay of game penalty there. Not that there's a good time, but that makes it 3rd and 6. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Can't get away, and he's taken down. And now that brings up 4th down there, a loss of 6 yards on the sack.
has to be exactly what they were looking for coming out to start the third quarter. Get a sack, get off the field, get the momentum going in their direction.
Get the ball back to your offense, right? Get that momentum because, hey, this lead is very, very slim. 46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. Throwing to start the drive. Ramsey. And his throw here is incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Here's a give to Davis. And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
They bring their punter out there now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he'll just punch it out of there, and it's not a great kick. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And they're down to the 41.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defense in front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down. They'll look to throw here. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Oftentimes now, offenses aren't nearly as precise as days gone by. They just tell receivers, find an open patch of grass and let the quarterback find you. And that's exactly what they did on that play. First with the pass through the air, nice chunk of yardage there, and then additional pickup with his legs after the catch.
They'll send one of those 2 tight ends in motion. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there. Hitting double digits with his 10th rushing touchdown on the year. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. Now the extra point try forthcoming. And that one pushes the lead up to 11. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And these guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. He'll get this to Baker. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
They keep it with Davis on 1st down. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. 3rd quarter action, and we appreciate you spending your Christmas Eve right here with us. 2nd and 10. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. Off play action. Ramsey. That is caught. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. So much for the run on 3rd and 1. Instead, it's a big chunk in the pass game. 1st down.
And time to give some credit to the big fellows, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes, because you got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time, be able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. Wide open receiver, complete. And he's into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And his guys have made this a 1-score game now.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air, because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that in the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
And this one is caught. So they come up with a 2-point conversion, and that makes this a 1-point game now. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Bringing it in, Jackson left side. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. 1 quarter remains here in Week 16. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these 2 teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. 2nd and 3. And that'll be incomplete. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way, because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. They'll drop to throw. And he'll find Hall. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And now 3rd down and 6 to go. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And for them right now, not a done deal. They are holding down one of the final 3 wild card spots with 2 weeks to go. But there are others, Charles, kind of nipping at their heels a bit.
And, Brandon, it's always worth keeping in mind, and I have to keep writing it down for myself. Remember, it's 7 teams in each conference now making the playoffs. So that brings more important games to the end of the season. So, in theory, more teams alive for a postseason berth later in the year.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. To give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Looking, and now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And it looks like one of the DBs has it. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. A lot of talk this week about ball security. In fact, they added an extra period in practice to be more secure with the ball. It didn't work out there.
Well, sometimes you just get overexcited during the game. You may all of a sudden make your catch, see some open field, and decide you're going for it, and not realizing that danger lurks while you're doing so. And there's your end result right there.
And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
Now a handoff to Davis. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. A field goal from this spot likely out of the question. They've got to get closer here on 3rd down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. This offense making its way back out, led by their running back. And it's hard to believe you could run the ball a whole lot better than he has. The vision, the cutback ability, the acceleration, it's all been on display throughout. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And brought down, but not before reaching the 25. 69 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
And what a tough spot for this defense because they know it's coming, but they're just powerless to stop it. What a great run there to start the drive. And you can bet there'll be more where that came from as they try to ice this game away.
Right back to him on first down. A very good move, but for a relatively modest gain out near the 32. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. This offense so far on 3rd down, they've been very good. 5 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. That's good for 9 yards as they convert on the 3rd down play. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Back to throw. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earn a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5. Back to throw here. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. And the return stops just a few yards shy of midfield. They'll spot the ball at the 47-yard line. Well, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw? And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. A golden opportunity for them now following the interception. They need to try to at least get 3. Obviously, a touchdown puts them in a much more secure position. On a huge mistake late, it's intercepted. And they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line. Well, their defense got them the football with an interception. They trot out there, Charles, in the very first play. They give the football right back.
Brandon, I almost expect you to come in like an auctioneer. We got 2. Do I hear 3? Remember, it was 2 in a row. Would we hit 3 in a row? Because these offenses, they got to be a little bit more careful as they go forward. These defenders, they're locked in and really focused.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. 5 points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on 1st down. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Out of the gun now on third down. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And even though he gets out of bounds to stop the clock, it's not going to matter. That first down going to be enough to write a finish to this one. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down. Trying to take this home, they'll run. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
And this one is right down the middle. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. The home team's offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Back to throw. And that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
Probably time for 2 more shots, and ideally, they'd like to get to midfield or so they have a chance at a Hail Mary on the final play.
He's back to throw. That to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete. Couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
So after all of this, it comes down to one final play.
And just think of what it's going to be, because from this distance, you've got to be prepared for everything. Hook and laterals, tip balls, you name it. A lot of laterals after a catch.
And he can't escape, and down he goes. Well, CD, for the losing side, they had opportunities in this one, but big plays just didn't go their way, especially late, and they have to suffer the L here.
It certainly felt like that takeaway, once it happened, it knocked the wind out of their sails, and they just couldn't get their equilibrium back.
So for our visitors, the wins keep coming as this one moves them to 12-3 on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the home team here, it's a tough blow to their playoff aspirations as they drop to 9-6. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.